Greetings and welcome. Hiveswap Friendsim even, is soon to end. I am Carianta, and let us continue on into the final stretch, into Volume 18 of Endings Many. Indeed. You crash-landed onto a planet called Alternia. You staggered from the wreckage of your ship. You were desperate for information, for provisions, and possibly a bit of medical attention. But most of all, you were desperate for friendship. Is what you could say if you were written by a bunch of hacks who cared about the Aristotelian ideal of narrative unity. Possibly you could make some reference to a circle being complete in a thoughtless and imbecilic manner. But we're all in this together, right? And we've all learned and grown enough to know that there's something deep and dark and absurd brewing beneath the surface. This really isn't about friendship anymore, is it? You've got enough friends. Now you need answers. You need... Oh, god damn it. This is just the intro screen. Yes, it was. And it's time to meet Lanque Bombik. A jade one, eh? Hello. Oh, he looks like a vampire. Hi. Anyway, Lanque. That's a name. It's very French feeling, so I don't like that already. Oh well. What's next on the docket? Oh, you're really feeling like going completely off the rails. So it's a good thing the first person to ping you on your palm husk is Linera. That nutty bitch is exactly the sort of destabilizing influence your life needs right now. Hello, my friend! Because that's what we are now. Friends! Cool, that's not a weird at all way to talk to someone. You're really loving this one. You're not sure what it is, but you're positive whatever crackpot caper this loopy troll's about to rope you into is going to be a real humdinger. There's a sense of finality in the air. You can taste it. Linera does you the courtesy of listening to you say all that shit without getting super put off by how much of a freak you are. Well, she's equally a freak herself, so it's fine. Listen up. So I was thinking, since us becoming friends has worked out so well, I was starting to think maybe it'd be a good idea to give making more friends another shot after all. I guess. That's what I was thinking. So there's this party I was invited to. You see, the fellow Jades in my cloister always sneak out to go to these things. You gently suggest to Lynn that she should hurry up it the fuck up. Okay, I'm nervous to go and I want to a friend to come with me, okay? Is that so crazy? No, you don't think that's crazy at all. You think that sounds fantastic, actually. You don't ask for any details because who gives a shit? You show up on the block. We're not going to talk about how you got there or whatever because, well, waste of time. You're just there. Linda's met up with you too. Linda mentioned there might be dancing, so you decide to really dress up for the occasion. Oh man, you went fucking nuts. You're wearing a cape and shit, but also like fishnets, maybe a sexy bra if that's your thing. Whatever you happen to drudge out of some dumpster or another. Honestly, you can imagine whatever you want here, but no, it's a complete bullshit and you look like a total slut. Sure, we are a friend slut after all. Linera isn't wearing anything special because we would have had to pay someone to redraw all her spreads. Okay, they were really going just like fuck it. From the looks of it, you're heading over to somebody's hive party. You're rolling up on some kind of joint that, from past experience, you can now summarize is an alien domicile. It's pretty big and maybe belongs to someone on the blue end of the spectrum. Back here again. Is this block just where all the jade-blooded schoolers love to get down and dirty? It hits you like a bucket of ice when you realize whose hive you're walking straight towards this time. This is Ardata's hive. Oh, that's just great. Your friend Ardata. Boy, do you love Ardata. Can't wait to see her again. She was fine, except for the torture. As you approach, you can immediately tell what kind of deal they have going on here. You can hear the tunes bumping from all the way down the block, and when you get near enough to see there are obviously a bunch of teens passed out drunk on the lawn, this is a full-blown frat house rager. Definitely doesn't seem like their sort of scene. That's because it isn't! Oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm doing this! You kind of can't either. You're not even in the front door and you can already feel the sweat pouring out of your armpits. This is going to be so much fun! You pass all the smashed lawn teens and go up to knock on the front door. You have to rap on it a few times until the telltale sound of clicking heels faintly reaches your ears. The door opens and you discover that the gracious hostess standing on the other side is none other than your best friend Ardata. Woohoo! She looks surprised to see you for only a moment before her face resolves into a wicked grin. My. Look what the perby's dragged in. Back for more so soon, my sweet. It's been like 18 hours since last time, 17 hours. You're not actually sure how much time has passed since you last ran into Ardata, but it doesn't feel like it can be described in any metric by soon. You've been physically sagged by so many times since then, you're not sure what you're blocking out though. You tell her that you're really glad to see her, because you totally are. You tell her you weren't expecting her to be hosting a party though. Oh, I don't know if I'd call it a party. More a friendly kickback of sorts. Sort of exclusive, really. All of the world's finest influences are here. Oh, fucking hell. Great. Fucking great. Wait, is Marvis here? That'd be great. That would actually be great. How exactly did you hear about my little shindig? While I certainly consider you to be one of my finest friends, I don't recall inviting you. You gesture vaguely to Linera. She doesn't seem to know how to lie and immediately cracks under the pressure. Of course she does know how to lie. One of the other Jades from my cluster told me to come. His name's Lanque, but I don't think he was invited either. I get the impression we kind of always come out here. Basically, we're crashing, if that's okay. Well, of course. What's an informal soiree without a few entirely uninvited interlopers? Linera doesn't seem to know if she's being sarcastic or not, and you aren't sure if she is either, to be honest. You're like, are you fucking with us? And she's like, ho, I'm whatever. Of course not. I just have but one question for you, my dears. Ardata beckons you near. You obey her slavishly, then she leans in close to your ear and intones. Do you hereby certify under penalty of law that you are of age to view adult content within your state of legal residence, have acknowledged the contents of this volume's accompanying mature content description, and are comfortable with the prospect of engaging with challenging or otherwise controversial fictional material? Look, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't censor anything. You bet you told to let on. You're too scared. Fuck that. Mate, I don't give a fuck about anything. Oh, that's good to hear. Why don't you come right in then, my dear? I don't want to see you making any little posts online about how my party was too fucking problematic for you, though. There's literally nothing too problematic for me, honestly. Unless, like, it's straight up Nazi shit, then that's a bit problematic, sure. But, like, other than that, and other than porn, obviously, we don't do porn here at all, any kind. But, like, other than those two things, I don't even fucking care. I mean, I guess some things are a bit Nazi-esque sometimes here, but that's, like, most of the time, the writers are aware what they're doing, and it's, like, you know, clearly portrayed as they're the bad guys, so it's fine, I guess. Whatever. You know, I don't give. I'm thinking too much. Let's go. Moo. Ardata steps back and welcomes you again into her abode with a grandiose gesture. You're very excited for Ardata's party and know definitely that you will enjoy absolutely every second of what she has in store for you. Once you've stepped in past the threshold, Ardata blows you a toxic kiss and saunters off to mingle with her enthusiastic guests. The first thing that hits you once you're indoors is the music. It's a soul wall of bass that reverberates through your body down to your bones. The intense dance track is blasting so loud you can hardly hear yourself think. It has to be this loud to drown out all the shouting coming from the living room. As you apprehensively advance, it becomes quickly clear that Linera is completely out of her element here. She's a bundle of nerves beside you, practically glued to your hip. When you actually step into the living room, she physically attaches herself to your arm. Oh, that's kind of adorable. Well, this is more than I was expecting. She's overwhelmed. Aw, bless her. Except when she tries to murder you. Then not. You too. It's a scene of absolute chaos. The living room of the house is filled to the brim with rowdy teens dancing rhythmlessly to the pounding music. The furniture has all been knocked over or otherwise destroyed, and you can make a pretty good guess of what's filling all the red cups you see in everyone's hands. You're about to tell Linera you wouldn't blame her if she wants to dip, but you can't get the words out before you're being flagged down by a jade-blooded boy who's just muscled his way out of the throng of partygoers with a few of his friends in tow. Lanque. Lanky? I'm gonna call him Lanky, because he is quite lanky. What kind of voice do I want to give his suave bastard? Linera, you made it. Yeah, I'm doing that now. Linera all but flings herself away from your body and freezes like a scared animal as the troll approaches. For all the commotion and ruckus, he's still remarkably well put together. The vigorous dance huddle hair doesn't seem to have disturbed his sharp makeup or his impeccably coiffed hair. There is a curious red stain down the front of his white shirt, though. He has a slutty-looking indigo-blooded girl on his right arm and an even sluttier-looking teal-blooded boy on his left, though he shakes them off and waves them away by the time he reaches you and Linera at the entryway to the room. Hi, Lanque. Yeah, I'm here. You watch with amusement as Linera practically bursts into flame under his gaze, and only gets worse when he sidles up to give her a startlingly intimate embrace. Man, this guy's a sleazebag. She squeaks and tries to hug him back, but is too timid to actually touch him with her hands. You can see sweat pouring down her face. He's just some dude. After a solid 5 seconds that seems to include lanky smelling Linera's hair, he pulls back to smile down Linera with a heavy gaze. Linera's face is bright green and her eyes are bugging out of her skull from how flustered she is. But she's not into it, you don't think? It's hard to tell, but you kind of get the impression he'd be dead by now if she weren't. Either way, it's awkward. Lucky for Linera, Lanky either doesn't notice or doesn't care. He settles into a comfortable, for him, posture with his arm casually around Linera's waist, and turns to you. Oh, who's this? This is my... friend? Yeah! Lanky quirks an eyebrow. You have friends? The question seems to leave Linera speechless, so Lanky takes the opportunity to look back at you. His eyes rake up and down your body in a way that leaves you feeling distinctly objectified. Yeah, he's a bastard. Oh, aren't you interesting? Is there a reason you look like that? What a question. He doesn't explain what that is specifically referring to, and given both your alien status and your state of dress, it could mean any number of things. You might take it as an insult if not for the way he licks his lips after he says it. He can't seem to pry his eyes off you. You look at Linera for a cue, but she's too out of it to give you any sort of intelligible sign. So you just explain how you crash land on a spying plan an indeterminate amount of time ago, and you don't really know what you're doing or much of anything about anything. The fact of your appearance could be due either to this or that. You're generally a disaster of upbringing, irrespective of your planetary origin. How fascinating. I've never met an alien before. Well, you have lots of times. In fact, literally everyone and everything here is alien to you. You find your word diary becoming more and more awkward and embarrassing as Lanky's eyes start burning a hole in the center of your chest. There's no need to be so shy. I don't bite until asked. Lanky disconnects himself from Linera as he rounds on you. It's like he's lost all interest in her existence now that you're in front of him. Linera looks at you with a completely pathetic expression that readily informs you as to what your response needs to be. You'll be damned if you aren't going to be the best wingman possible, so you definitely ignore Lanky's blatant pass and turn the conversation back to Linera. You ask Lanky how long he and Linera have known each other. Lanky raised his eyebrows at the question. Well, I suppose since she was chosen for the cloister, some number of sweeps ago. I don't remember really. It was 2.43 sweeps. Oh, alright. Then, that many, I guess. Huh, that's a pretty long time, actually. Yeah. Pretty impressive that you managed to go a solid 2.4 of them without saying a single word to me that wasn't circulated to me secondhand from your snide gossiping behind my back. Oh wow, talk about whiplash. Linnaeus' eyes get big like saucers. Oh, what? What are you? I don't know what you're talking about. The tone of the conversation is totally morphed from fire to ice in an instant, though neither Lanque's expression nor demeanor have changed much. He slips in the knives with all the calm composure of a casual statement. What? Are you going to pretend you didn't spend the better part of past 2.5 sweeps complaining about how much I disgusted you? Come now. You do know that everyone is aware you're a nasty little bitch, right, Linnea? I mean, don't take it the wrong way. I really don't mind. I'm hardly in a position to criticize. I was just curious. What caused the sudden change of heart after so long decrying me, my vain and slatternly lifestyle? Have the impending ordeals finally made the little clock start to tick down in that dry, dusky nook of yours? Did you figure I was the only one who might be loose enough to be willing to clean out the cobwebs before you get shipped off to Space Church and never have the chance again? Just wondering. There's a long, excruciating moment where Lara says nothing. She just stares up at Lanque beside her with a completely shell-shocked expression. But before you can try to pipe up in Lara's defense, she bursts into tears. Oh no. When Lara suddenly turns and makes a mad dash to run out of the door and away from the party, you're torn between running after her and giving this jerk a real piece of your mind. Your mind's made up when you look back at Lanque just in time to catch him rolling his eyes. Hey, you say. That was kind of rude, don't you think? Lanque snorts. Me? Rude? Are you perhaps attempting to fuck with me? Clearly you haven't spent much time around this bitter pill if you think that was anything short of precisely what she deserves. You concede you maybe don't have a full enough grasp on Jade Blood Cloister's social dynamics to make a definitive judgment on whether or not Linnea deserves to have been so ruinously owned, but she's your friend, and what good are you if you don't stick up for people you care about? I have no idea what even got her so upset. Like I said, it's not like I really care what she says about me, but you don't get to spend as much time as she does being such a venomous little snake and act surprised when someone calls you out on it. And then why did you invite her, you ask? It seems needlessly cruel of Lanque to lead her on under false pretenses, if he never intended to be her friend at all. I promise you I had no such designs. The only reason I even invited her to this thing is that my ex is being a real blood-sucking bitch and no one else wanted to go. I was willing to give her an honest shot, but I've no time for a vicious slandering nag who can't even admit what she is. I thought it might be interesting to see what that crusty little shrew might be like if you could manage to wrest her bulge free of whatever excruciating knot she's got tied into. But I guess now we'll never know. Well, this is clearly a conversation you're going to have to Switzerland out of pretty soon. What? You tried to explain the historical significance of Switzerland's political neutrality on your homeland. Lanque's eyes glaze over like he's listening to you recite the sports almanac of cricket stats. That's nice. Anyway, since I seem to have scared away my date, why don't you stay a while so you and I can get to know each other a little better? You seem much more interesting than she is anyway. When did Lanque get up so close to you? Your heart beats a little faster than when he smiles at you like that, so poisonous and shamelessly laced with intent. Linnea is definitely not the only one coming off like a snake here. I've less time to waste than most, my dear. Never seen the value in beating around the bush. Well, maybe it'd be socially prudent for you to go after Linnea and make sure she's okay, but it's also not her volume of the Friendsim, so instead of doing that, you're going to stick around and see what this spectacularly briary prima donna is all about. You had your fucking chance to bail out of this shit show, but all that's left to do is now battle down hell as meteorically as you can manage. Fantastic. Care to dance? Why the fuck not? Lanque laughs pleasantly and reaches out to take you by the hand. The contact gives you a little thrill despite yourself. He's got nice hands, soft and warm and well taken care of, and you know it's going to be one hell of a ride. wherever he's taking you. Come with me. You do. He doesn't lead you straight to the dance floor, though. He takes you around the throng of dancing partygoers over to the kitchen of the house first. You weren't expecting to find a familiar face waiting for you there. Oh, Elwood. Hey, fancy meeting you here. You don't find it that surprising, honestly. You two know each other? You could say that. That's just great. Do you give discounts to friends? I sure fucking don't. You know the price, pretty boy. Pay up. You're a little confused. What is being purchased here? Exactly, drugs. Drugs, dude. It's the drug pie. Hopefully. Elwood gives you a funny look. You a drone? What? Hush. You do as you're told and watch as Lanque and Elwood carry out their shady transaction. Lanque hands over the credits and receives an opaque little baggie of something in return. Oh, well. You guess I don't really need to see what's in the thing to figure out what it is at this point. As soon as the deal is done, Lanque has his hand at the small of your back and is deftly guiding you away from the scene of the crime. Is buying drugs a crime here? You aren't really well versed with the laws of Alternia, but it honestly doesn't really seem like anybody would give much of a shit about anybody doing drugs out here. I guess the clandestine transactions are just for their aesthetic. Lanque's got you back in a shady corner of the party and is pressing one of the tablets he bought into your hand with a sly grin. He expects you to join in. You're like, hold on a minute, your experience with alien drugs haven't really been that great, honestly, and you're not sure you're that excited for a repeat performance. Lanque's immediate response is to sneer. Oh, I see. You're one of those people. One of what people? You know, a bit boring, maybe? There are many words that could be used to describe you, but you don't think boring is a remote contender. You're always doing all kinds of unbelievably stupid shit and getting into unaccountable, wacky and life-threatening situations. Is it really that fucking much to ask for there to be one time you don't rush headfirst into doing something you know is going to fuck you up and be totally awful? Lanque's lips press into a thin, annoyed line. These things aren't cheap, you know. I bought them for you. Well, you didn't ask him to do that, did you? Oh, come on. You're really going to be like this? Yeah, you totally are. Lanque sighs dramatically. Fine. Oh no, not Damien. You fucking bastard. No, leave the kid alone, he just wants some meat. Lanque casts around for the nearest victim and grabs his attention with a hand around his wrist. To your dismay, you're a sweet and innocent hot dog chum demon. Alas, there's nothing you can do to stop him from falling prey to Lanque's wicked designs. Here, have these. Oh yeah, great! Thanks, I love to put drugs on my wiener. What a tragedy. But before you know it, Lanque has a hold of you again and is dragging you off. Let's just dance. You're not too much of a square to do that, are you? Of course not. Dancing is basically the one thing you actually planned to come here and do. So that's just great. You go along with Lanque enthusiastically when he pulls you over to the writhing mass of bodies bumping and grinding on the dance floor. You get down to it. You soon discover that Lanque has a very interesting dancing style. And by interesting, you mean it primarily consists of directly grinding his body against yours in an incredibly shameless fashion. I mean, doesn't have much time, he'll soon be an adult, I guess. And be shipped off to do war, or cloister stuff, whatever the fuck the Jays do. But pressed in as you are from all sides by sweaty and inebriated bodies, there's not exactly much room for a troll Gigas to begin with. Lanque is up on you so close it's hard not to sweat. He has his hands at your hips and your face fixed with sharp eyes. His heavy stare is nearly hypnotic, so blatant and undisguised in his expression. It's clear what he wants, and maybe what's more than you're prepared to give, but when he looks at you like that, it's impossible to look away. You just go with it. Why not? It feels good and it's not like anyone else is watching. You're surrounded by trolls, boxed in and pouring sweat, and yet it feels like you're the only two people there. Lanque draws in, teeth by your ear, and this close you can hear him easily even over the overwhelming pound of the bass. You have the palest skin I've ever seen. Yeah, you tell him you're literally FFFFF white, which is like blank. That makes you super racially inoffensive, FYI. You let Lanque know he can see you any way he wants, which is even more woke than making a decision. Thin as paper. I can see all the way inside of you. All your veins and your red blood. You smell like candy. I wonder how you taste. Ah ha ha, you say that's like some shit a vampire would say. Presuming a rainbow drinker would be an awfully reductive and literal reading of my character. Well, I literally called him a vampire from the beginning as well, so I mean, you're designed that way, dude. I'm not backing that way, I'm not apologizing. Yeah. Don't be a vampire then. I'm just making a blatant sexual pass. Oh, okay. Good thing that's all cleared up. You take this as an opportunity to really let loose, showing off everything you've got on the sexy dance acumen department. Lanque is a little bewildered. What are you doing? You're like, what aren't I doing? There's a fire on the dance floor and you struck the match. You're just fucking up in here, really getting it, breaking it down, bopping and crumping and whatever. You're smashing your ass and everyone around you getting hot and heavy with those lusty moves. There's a point where Lanque has to step back. You presume to properly behold your art in all its glory. Too sexy for him, eh? Wait, do trolls fuck actually? That's a good question. I don't actually know. But it soon becomes clear that it's not your prodigious dancing skills that have given him pause. You follow his startled gaze and see the cause of his alarm. Bronya's here and she looks pissed. Lanque's not so hot and powerful when Bronya's there, eh? That's nice. Oh, shit. Bronya's still standing in the entryway contending with Ardata, and looks like she hasn't caught sight of you yet. But Lanque isn't wasting any time. Before you realize what's happening, Lanque has you by the wrist and is hauling you away from the dance floor, and off down the hallway. Lanque finds safety in the bedroom. A respite block, you remind yourself, when you take stock of the conspicuous absence of any bed, and the presence of the revolting-looking slime cocoon in which trolls allegedly spend their repose. You hold each other in a tense and nervous silence pressed against the locked door. What feels like an eternity passes, you breath held. The sound of your blood rushing through your own ears is almost enough to drown out the music. Seconds turn to minutes, and nobody comes to find you. It seems, for now, you've escaped Bronya's notice. Bronya's nice. When you turn your head to look back at Lanque, you find he's been staring at you for some time. I haven't been able to take my ass off of you since the moment I first saw you. You're just so interesting. You freeze like a hare staring down a snake. Lanque lifts his hand to brush a thumb across your cheek, fingers curling under your chin. You meet his eyes. His pupils are so black. I want to know what it'd be like to kiss you. Lanque's tongue darts out to wet his painted lips. Do you want to kiss me? Whoa. Well, you've already clicked on at least 2 mature content disclaimers to get this far. Why in the hell not? Lanque leans in and presses his lips against yours. He kisses much more sweetly than he looks. His lips are soft and wet and taste like blackberries. This beats making up with a couple of greasy teens behind the dumpster, that's for sure. When one of his sharp fangs nicks your bottom lip, you don't even care. But when a drop of your blood beads out into his invasive tongue, Lanque draws back just an inch. You taste sharp and dangerous, like a weapon. Is that a good thing? It's not a bad thing. Lanque pulls back further. His hand slips from your cheek and his fingers trail down your neck to rest on your collar, thumb brushing up against the thrum of your pulse. Have you ever paled before? Lanque shrugs off his jacket and starts unbuttoning his shirt. Whoa, is this really gonna go there? No, it won't. We know it won't. But they're insinuating it. You're like, well, no, you've never done any alien intercourse with a bucket, but it doesn't look like he even has one on him at the moment. That was apparently the wrong thing to say because Lanque's face scrunches up in displeasure. Don't mock me. It's my first time. Okay. You figure laughing would constitute mocking him, so you don't. But the look you give him seems to say enough. Us Jades who live in the cloisters have been chosen for a very special duty. We're expected to adopt a chaste and ascetic life in service to the continuation of our species. And when we undergo our ordeals in our sent-off world, There's no such thing as sneaking out of the caverns. If I don't do this now, when? My life is nearly over. Will you help me feel alive? But before you can answer, Bronya's voice starts to rise shrill above the heavy music. Lanque! I don't remember what voice I gave her. Lanque's hands shoot out at lightning speed to draw you close. Before you can so much as gasp, he presses one of his palms over your mouth to keep you quiet. Oh shit, she's close, and from the sound of it, she's getting closer. Lanque! Vivi! Vivi! Lanque! Vivi! That's the one. There we go. Vivi. I forgot about that almost. Vivi! I know you're here, Vivi! Vivi, you need to come out and come home right now, Vivi! Lanque leans in close to your ear. Shh. I can't get closer to you than that. I'm literally kissing the microphone. What will you do? Calling his mom. This has gotten problematic enough. Nah, fuck that. We gotta keep quiet. You wanna see where this goes? Hell yeah. Why the fuck not? You keep your mouth shut and wait for Bronya to pass. She only shouts for a little while longer before the sound of her voice fades away. There are too many blocks in this eye for her to be trying to break down the door to everyone, and she didn't look too closely at this one. You've lost her. When it becomes clear Bronya's gone for good, Lanque lets his hand fall away from your lips. You feel him smile against your ear. Where were we? You turn in Lanque's arms and look up into his blazing eyes. How can you alien pale without a bucket? I don't mind doing it without one. Sometimes it can be fun to get a little messy, don't you think? You're like, weren't you just saying this was your first time? Lanque answers you with another kiss. This time, he means business. Alright, we get it. Phew! You go all the way with this super slutty alien, and then you slump out on the ground completely wasted. Oh god damn it, I forgot to turn that thing off. Yeah, inform me that we've crossed the threshold of... Goddamn phone. I'm not gonna cut that. Happened at the perfect moment, honestly. Almost, more or less. And by the way, got a special little, I guess CG screen? Sort of. That's silly. Maybe this all went kind of off the rails, but you have to admit it would have been a real shame if you got through this entire extraterrestrial adventure and never got to smash even a single alien. What would be the fucking point, honestly? This guy really did a whole number on you. You're lying, spread eagle on the floor as Lanque is putting his clothes back on. Man, this is probably your most accomplished friendship to date. You're not quite ready to move just yet, but since you and Lanque are such good chums now, you figure now's a good time as any to ask for his chitter. Lanque seems surprised to even hear you speak. Huh? You want to add me on chitter? Yeah, you say. Isn't that what friends do? This was a one-night stand, man. Oh, sorry. I can't. My palm husk is broken right now. Lanque says while typing away furiously on his palm husk. He doesn't even look down at you. You're like, but you're using it right now? Lanque rolls his eyes. I thought you would take the obvious hint. What obvious hint? Lanque huffs. Look, I was trying to be nice, but you just weren't that good, babe. I don't often ring the same bell twice, but if I were going to consider it, you'd have to show me a better performance than that. Whoa. Holy shit. That's that, you guess. Your lowest low. Your first time banging an alien, and you couldn't even satisfy him. A little seed of worthlessness takes root inside of you, and germinates so explosively that it fills you up until there's basically nothing left. You die of shame instantly. Okay. Shame to death. Okay. Alright, I guess let's call mom up instead. Stop the naughty happening, I guess. Yada. Now we're gonna go in, blah 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 blah, and time to call in his mom. This has gotten problematic enough. Yeah, Bronya, come on now, take this kid away. You rip Lanque's hands off your mouth and start yelling for Bronya. What the fuck, dude? Lanque tries to scramble away from you to make some sort of last-ditch effort to escape, but it's no use. Bronya hears you and comes running, furious. She hulks the locked door off its hinges before you can even get up to let her in. You duck flying chunks of alien architecture and scuttle off to avoid what you fear might be further alien fists. Vivi, Lanque! Vivi, as angry as her voice is, some of the fury goes out of her face the moment her gaze lands on Lanque's state of partial undress. She reflexively brings a hand up to shield her eyes. Hey, what in the world? Put your clothes back on right this instant, young man! Lanque freezes where he stands, apparently accepting that he's been caught. There's nowhere left to run, if he doesn't intend to fling himself out a window. A sneer uncoils on his face. Oh please, save the purity act. Like this is anything you haven't already seen a dozen times before. Baronya's face goes bright jade. What? What in the world are you implying? Vivi, I would never, Vivi! Forget Linera. You've always been the craziest bitch in the whole cloister. You know you aren't actually our Lucis, right? Baronya marches right up to Lanque and slaps him hard across the face, but you need Lucis, you need someone like her. Lanque makes an undignified noise as he recoils from the blow. It looks like that really hurt. His face is stinging bright under the handprint. He forces out a strained laugh. My word, Baronya. If you want to join us, all you had to do was ask. Damn. You wish you had some popcorn right about now. You just kind of sit back and take it all in. Lanque's invective has its apparent desired effect. Baronya is all but steaming at this point, hands balled into fists at her sides. You kind of want to say hi to your friend, but she's a little preoccupied, it seems. Vivi, I am not going to rise to your petty bantling. You know you're in the wrong here, Vivi. 1. We've spoken time and time again about recklessly sneaking out of these parties, and now you're dragging Linera into your mess. 2. Linera has told me all about the things you've been saying and doing to her, and it's completely unacceptable, Lanque. 3. You've had more than enough lectures about the way you treat your flushed quadrant partners and absolutely needs to stop. 4. You are coming back with me to the cloisters right now. Vivi, when we're home, we're going to have one last serious talk about this, and if there aren't changes, there are going to be consequences, Vivi. Eventually, Baronya's overbearing hollering seems to finally bring Lanque down. He sighs, shoulders slumped, and rolls his eyes. Fine. Fine. Baronya crosses her arms indignantly as she waits for Lanque to finish fixing his clothes. Lanque buttons his shirt, puts back on his jacket and his tie, and then he has to go retrieve his palm husk, which he seems to have discreetly slid over to where you're standing. He casually saunters his way over, and instead of picking up his own device, snatches yours out of your hand. Hey, I've got to go, but let me give you my chitter information. Maybe we can pick up where we left off later, sweetheart. Baronya stumps over to grab Lanque by the ear and drag him away, but not before he's finished putting his chitter contact into your palm husk. He shoves back into your hand, mouths you a "see you later," and is then fully hauled out of the room. Hypocrite. Vivi, you need to shut your mouth, Vivi. And then they're gone. Friendship accomplished, you guess? Chitter mutuals. Or at least there's that, I guess. Oh geez, what the fuck are we wearing? Okay, fishnets and a cape and a bra. Bikini thingy. Alright. Okay. Well, we achieved literal friend slut status there.